to draw the line at pink penalty flags.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Coach.
Coach Mike here, Kids in Sports. My throat's going to be a little rough, so I may put more on you today, Alex. Rant Radio Network, that's where we're at. Boy, I just did water today, coffee, water, everything. Thanks for joining us. Alex, give them the phone number. We need calls today.
Well, usually give the 855-969-RANT, which is 7268. But the one on the screen is 855-693-4897. Give us a call.
I don't care which number to use. We're going to be talking about paying for play today. Should high school, primarily high school, but it talks about any schools really, should student athletes at the high school level or under have to pay to play? And this is a topic that is going all over the place. It affects so many kids, affects so many schools. Schools don't have money, but and a lot of people don't have money. So what is the solution? We're going to talk some more about that today, and probably it'll go on to next week. But first, you got to do your homework. Check out the Kids in Sports website, www.kidsinsports.com. That's Kidz and as in Nancy sports.com. You can send emails. We're going to have two addresses. Of course, you know about Coach Mike at kidsinsports.com, but I also have a new one, Coach Mike at rantradionetwork.com.
That's interesting.
It's supposed to make me look better. I like that.
You look better already, Coach.
I took my glass. I remember how to enlarge the type so I can take my glasses off. I'm going to be.
And I saw you trying to increase the screen with your hand.
Well, I'm used to that on my phone. Just put your fingers on there. And,
we're like aliens now.
But yeah, we want to hear from you. Is if you're a parent, you're a teacher, somebody in a school district. I'm going to carry this again further next week. I hope you sign up for my newsletter on there at the Kids in Sports website. And every Monday I send out a newsletter, talk about updates for the show, what's coming up ahead of time. Sometimes I put little things in there that I don't put on the website normally, so you get. And I don't charge for that. I should. I'm going to start charging one of these days. I got to start charging because some of these talk shows are making a killing with these, $3 a month.
Well, Coach, you really do want to lose
pay for play.
Yeah, you really
lose my one audience.
You really do want to lose your listeners, don't you?
They can still listen for free. Just get in the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
But I got to put some more value in there if I'm gonna. No, I've been looking over all these talk shows that that do that, and I don't want to, but it'd be nice. It'd be help cover this. These shows cost money, just like school sports cost money. Check out last week's show. Last week I thought we had one of the best shows. I did this for 5 years before I came to Rant Radio, and I got to say, I think last week's show was one of the best.
Well, VJ
was awesome.
Yeah, VJ Stanley made it a good show.
I mean, he brought up some good stuff. There's still some things that he says that I think there's a difference that, you got that kid that's played a certain sport since she's 7 or 8 years old. She's got a huge head start over the ones that haven't. And every year I get kids that try out at a high school level, come out and try out for softball that have never played. So now I not only got to try to get them better, but I got to teach them the rules of the game, which, usually you expect they should already know by then, So it's hard to take them out. We don't have big numbers at the school as far as players. So if they show any signs of athleticism, and if they look like they can throw a ball 20 feet, I can teach them how to throw a ball 60 feet. That's not a problem. I can teach. If they want to put in the work, I can get them to a higher level. But will they ever get to the level of this kid that's been doing it for so long? Usually the answer is no. And there's a lot of coaches that tried. It's not, it's not a new thing. There's coaches that try. There's coaches that want to see these kids have a chance. It's pretty tough once you've been, just like you selling real estate for how many years?
About 8 years.
Now, if I came to you and said, Alex, I don't know. I know how to spell real estate. That's about it. I want to be as good as you by next year. Can I do that?
In terms of the action of going out and doing it, probably. But there's a lot of knowledge that goes along and wisdom that goes along with the years.
Right.
So you have to get that under your belt.
So there's so much to gain, but I don't mind giving it a chance. And that's why I like VJ, because he goes along my teach first, win later mentality. But the idea is that there are, and this pay for play that we're going to be talking about, there are a lot of kids out there that drop out of sports for a number of reasons. I don't think the money is usually why they drop out, because most leagues that I know of, even a lot of travel teams, not all of them, but a lot of travel teams, if you're a player that's fitting into the level of that they want, you're that athlete, they're going to work with you a lot of times. So, and a lot of high school coaches would too. It depends on the numbers. If I've got 50 kids trying out for 15 spots, then I'm sorry, number 29 probably isn't going to make it. You know, we're not at that point yet at our school, but I know some schools that are. When my daughter was at Santa Fe High, I think her freshman year they had about 60 kids trying out.
Wow.
So I know you go to Foothill, you go to Mater Dei, you go to Pacific, you go to these schools will have 30, 40, 50, 60 kids trying out.
And are the tryouts good enough to where you can really tell who the best players are?
Each coach chooses differently. If you got that many, it's hard. You can't do it in one day, I don't think. You see, the old rules, CIF would allow you 10 days of tryouts. That was before they took off the association rule. Now that's sort of gone. So you can go, you can look at them for 2 or 3 weeks if you want to. I've done something a little bit different that the school usually does as far as 6th period softball class. If the kid, and I did have some tryouts a few weeks ago, but at the beginning of the year, if I had a couple of new kids that come out and say, I want to do softball, they missed the summer camp. Have you played before? Yeah, I played 1 year. I'll tell the county, go ahead and put them in. But I let them know, you could be cut if you're not working, because there are some kids every year, almost every year, not every year, but every year you get some kids coming out that want to be, it's not a matter of softball. They want to be out there because their friends out there. I've actually had kids that told me that they wanted to do softball because they didn't want to run, and that's all they do is PE is run. Yeah. Imagine, I've heard soccer coaches say that too.
Well, wait a second. So if they're in a sport, they don't do PE? That's like a...
Well, yeah, if you're going to be on the competitive teams, then you're put in most school, not all schools do it, but most schools have a 6th period.
Well, that's considered their physical education.
That's their PE class, right?
I see.
That's considered their PE class. Part of the reason that came about was under the old association rule that Southern Section had, I could not, for example, coach my girls in September, okay? But I could do a PE class. So if I have a PE class and now you put the softball players in that class, say now I can get a little bit of a head start on the season. Because in reality, let's go again, going back to what the old rules are. The old rules, for example, softball would run from President's Day weekend, that Monday generally, I think it was. So like February 15th, let's say, to May 10th. Okay? So the season would start February 15th. The first game would be generally 2 weeks later, or the first scrimmage, and the first game 3 weeks later. So that gives me 3 weeks to prepare this team to play competitively. It's obviously, if you have a bunch of travel players on the team that, like one coach told me one day, you just roll the ball out and you let them play, then it makes it a little bit easier. But a lot of schools don't have that luxury. They might have 1 or 2 travel ball players. 3 weeks isn't enough time. So that's one reason I felt it was good, either to pull the association roll off. You have 6th period class, that helps. Because now as part of the class, I can go through specific instruction. So now I got a couple months to work with them. It's a little bit different ballgame.
Yeah, no, it sounds like we both got frogs today, huh?
Man.
It sounds like you have more time, to work work with the team, to get them together, to create the camaraderie. That's right. That's what you're after.
And plus that way, it also allows me time to work with that new kid to get them up to speed more, so they don't, because it's not just a matter of are they good enough to play with the other ones, because that's why you have a JV team, and I've even been given permission to do a Frosh soft team if I get the numbers, okay, if I get the kids out there. So I got plenty of room to take kids on. But the kids too, like, we've talked a few times about their self-esteem. They don't want, that kid doesn't want to be out there, most of them don't want to be out there looking like a complete idiot, Well, when all the other players know what they're doing.
When you have that many more kids coming out to try out for the, they apparently they were picked for a reason.
Right. Well, see, I'd go like this year for my 6th period. I did a summer camp. So any of the 8th graders from the elementary school that had already registered at Western could come out to the summer camp as long as they already registered, and returning players. So those kids automatically I can put in the 6th period because I've had some time to work with them. I see them. There wasn't any of them that, obviously most of them wouldn't make some schools' teams, some of the elite teams. But as far as our team goes, no problem. You're in 6th period. So I just tell the counselor, I have to give them a notice and say these kids are okay to put in 6th period. I did have a kid come to me or went to the counselor first week of school or came to me or whatever and said, I couldn't make summer camp. We were out of town. I want to do softball. So I did. Have you played softball for you? I did a year or whatever, and it's okay. So I told the counselor if it's okay with you and her schedule permits, go ahead and put her in 6th period softball. And he actually thanked me for that because he said normally in the past I've done the same thing. They have to have a tryout first. And part of the reason is that though is not just because whether they're good enough or not, but there's those kids that they want to try something they don't know what. And so the idea is you don't want to get them out there and then they quit in 9 weeks or, and they want to go back in some of their class.
Well, not only that, but if some of the other folks hear about the fact that somebody got on the team or got on the 6th period
right.
and didn't try out, there gives the appearance of favoritism.
Right. What I do to alleviate that is I let them know, right up front, you can still be cut at any time. But that even goes for the returning players. If you start screwing around, you're not putting effort out here. In the JV, I told him, my JV coach, he comes out usually in January. And I said, once we split apart, he has full authority. If he comes to me and says, get this kid off my team, you're out of there. Okay?
Wow.
We'll sit down and talk about it. And he's not going to, I know Richard well enough to know that he's not going to, he doesn't play the favorite side. He's very good about working with basics and teaching the kids. So I trust him in that regard. I mean, we'll sit down and talk about it. I wouldn't just say, okay, you're out of here. We're going to sit down and have a conversation. Okay,
what's that kind of totalitarian?
Yeah. Got to roll the iron softball bat.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a break. Coach Mike here with my co-host Alex Alanese, Kids in Sports, Rant Radio Network. Don't forget.
Building a custom home or business is a huge deal. For some, it's the largest project they'll take on in a lifetime. Choosing your team may be the most important part of ensuring a successful building project. Starting a project by working closely with Core Design will create what's just right for your lifestyle and your property. But selecting the right builder is perhaps the most important part of creating the team. At Core Design's customer service, quality craftsmanship, and integrity are the keys to our company philosophy. Your custom construction dreams are just a phone call away. Core Design at 213-453-1609. Once again, that number is 213-453-1609.
We're the Brothers Bear Podcast Live, and I'm your host, Sanch, and I'm always joined by
Edgar,
Carlos Medrano, and this is a show where we talk about
comics, movies, TV, video games, stand-up, music, and many more geeky things.
Catch us live on Rant Radio Network on Mondays from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m.
That's another commercial in the back.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
You're listening to the Mommy Talk, a place where mommies, and don't forget dads, can share their everyday accomplishments
and challenges y mucho más. So tune in every Friday here at rantradionetwork.com from 11 through 12.
And don't forget to call in at 855-969-RANT. The number is 855-969-RANT.
You can follow us on Facebook at The Mommy Talk Show.
See you then.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español.
Arvin's doing a great job on our board in there, making us sound good. Because under the circumstance today, that's pretty excellent because we're both struggling with the throats.
Yeah, no, a lot of.
I do have a problem looking at his pink mic, though.
Yeah, you know.
No, I don't have a problem with the pink mic.
You know, the
pink flags.
Okay, you have the sweatbands.
I'm all for that.
You even have the little, some of the players are wearing pink socks.
Right.
Okay, I can live with
with all that.
But when you get the pink flag, a couple times they threw the flag. I didn't even know what it was.
Right.
And then they put even the pink banner up, showing that there's a flag on the field.
I love the fact they're supporting. They want to support a charity, go for it. But the pink flag, penalty flags, I think was going a little too far. They should have left those yellow. If they want to put a pink corner on it or something, but it should have been
like an outline or something. At least I know it's a flag.
It's
a real
penalty flag. Right.
I don't know if they're just throwing it out there,
Well, because like my wife said, all the players had pink towels. I didn't know they just didn't drop their towel.
Well, that happened a few times in a few games.
Yeah.
The towel came out, and I thought there was a flag now,
So what do you do? My wife's all happy. Dodgers won. I tell you, before you get to pay for play,
they're going to take it.
I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm going to tell you one thing I liked about what they did last night, the baseball managers. Because, we had a conversation. I don't know, you were there the other day. We were talking about how in any pro sport, football, baseball, basketball, they keep recycling the same managers all the time. The guy goes here to one city, he loses, they fire him. He goes to another city, they give him millions of dollars because he's such a great coach, because he won somewhere in the past, but now he can't seem to win anymore, right? And it may not be his fault. Talent levels change, injuries, there's so many things that go into it. But, I sometimes give a new guy a chance. But one of the things, I like baseball. I like watching football better. I do watch baseball, but I don't watch as much. And one thing that drives me crazy is there's too much. We've gone too many relief pitchers. They bring 3 pitchers in an inning. And yesterday the Dodgers took a risk by starting Kershaw in short rest. They didn't want to go back to Atlanta, and he pitched a really good game. He did his job. It proved. I mean, the old days, these guys didn't. They pitched day after day after day after day. So, and I hate to see it when they, a batter changes. Well, they bring in the right-handed pitcher because some percentage says, let the guy try to do his job. The other day, I think, who was it? It was the Dodgers or Atlanta. Somebody took a pitcher out, and I felt the other guy was pitching a good game. The starter was pitching, he wasn't. He was still 2 runs up, pitched a good thing. Reliever comes in, gives up a run. Let the guy take ownership of his game.
Well, when I was a kid, Coach, and I remember the Dodgers. Okay, I can even tell you the lineup. Okay, Steve Yeager, Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, Ron Say, Rick Monday, Dusty Baker, and Reggie Smith. Did I get that right?
I don't know, but it sounds good.
Okay, that was the lineup.
Who were the pitchers?
That was the Dodger lineup.
Who were the pitchers?
Well, I don't remember a lot of the pitchers, but I remember Fernando Valenzuela. Don Sutton. Okay, I don't remember a lot of the pitchers, but here's my point, is that was the lineup. You had these. You go see a Dodger game, that was the lineup for years. And that's the reason I even remember what the lineup is now. I couldn't even tell you what the players are on the Dodgers. I'll watch a game, but they've got so much, like you said, it's so much back and forth that I'm not following that anymore. Now it's more about strategy.
Yeah.
It's about statistics and strategy. And
let the guys play. I mean, I don't have a problem having a closer or a setup guy like that. But and they still pretty much do. I mean, if you're a starter and you got a no-hitter going, something like that, they're going to let you try to finish it out usually. I haven't heard of a case where they didn't unless you get injured. But, if I'm the starter, I'm ahead 2-9. What's the movie with Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball, where he goes over to Japan?
I didn't see it.
You never? Oh, it's a great movie. And he gets in there because he said the Japanese manager, every time his pitcher would give up a hitter, all of a sudden he's pulling him out. And he says, why don't you let the guy try to get out of the jam he put himself in? Give him a chance to dig deep, and he might, even if he doesn't do it today, even if you lose today, it's going to pay off down the road because he's not going to get nervous about having to be perfect every. The same thing like yelling at the kids, we're talking about.
I kind of see all that as being, this is the players playing the game and the coaching staff now working with those players versus the coaching staff now dealing with the crowd, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's going on in the background? Okay. They're more concerned about winning.
I would have liked to see after the next break off. Look, I think he's out of baseball now, apparently, or whatever. Maybe some went down. But a couple of years ago, the Yankees had a pitcher in their farm system, Pat Benedetti, that he pitched at Clemson, was a switch pitcher. And he had a special glove. And all he had to do is put the glove on the other hand. He could throw with either hand.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to see a really funny YouTube video, go back and just type in Yankee switch pitcher in a search or something. And there was a video, it's on YouTube, of this minor league game he was in. And it's late in the game. And I guess the one batter, because they send a switch hitter up. So he's got whatever glove whatever hand he's going to throw, the batter goes to the other side, so he switches hands.
Oh, wow.
So the batter goes back to the other side, he switches hands again. They go back and forth for 5 minutes. It's absolutely hilarious.
And what was his record? Did he have a good record?
I don't know. I'd have to look. They were telling like he was doing really good, but like I said, I was looking for him on the fantasy rosters. I didn't see him in there.
Well, because it would seem like a commodity.
Yeah.
It would seem like something.
Can you imagine what you could do with that? I mean, that'd be...
Well, you have the ability now. If you're ambidextrous that way, you have the ability now to like it's kind of like what you were saying about switching out the pitchers.
Yep.
You don't have to do that anymore. Yeah.
Just switch hands, okay? Now, those are the great things that we like in sports. Like the Angels pitchers they had, Jim Abbott for years, one-handed. This guy got to the majors. I mean, he overcame his handicap to get there. And that's some of the neat things about sports. And I think too many times we miss some of that. We miss it at the younger levels sometimes. But and we're going to get into this pay-for-play thing. Don't put the limitations down and we can't do things. Each coach has a different way of doing things. Deal with a one-on-one. 855-969-RANT. We're going to be talking about pay-for-play. And I've got some guests I want to try to get on next week. I didn't have time this week to get it. But basically what we're talking about, here's where this comes from. The high school schools don't have money, okay?
Schools don't have money.
Schools get budget. I know.
Let me start off with this, Coach.
You don't believe that, huh?
I don't. As much taxes as I get siphoned through my income. I mean, you think about it, 1/3 of everyone's income is taxes. Whether it be, if not more, whether it be, and even sometimes even double taxation, whether it be 28 cents at the per gallon at the pump, whether it be you're buying something at.
There should be enough money.
There just should be plenty of money. Okay, but here's the part that really bugs me. Okay. I have a joke, I have a lotto pool that we do at the Breakfast Club, okay? And when I go to the liquor store to buy the tickets,
do we win tomorrow night?
I'm always I haven't checked. The drawing's tonight. I often tell the clerk, I'm buying the tickets here to give me 20 on the mega whatever, and I make a joke with the clerk and I say, "Oh, I'm just paying my taxes," because if I don't win, somebody who does win is only getting 1/3 of that money. 1/3 of it goes to the establishment.
Look at half.
No, they get 1/3.
Where do you get
that? I read it on the Mega Millions website. They get 1/3. 1/3 of it goes to taxes.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, but some of these
means
pots
you
are
get 2/3.
the Powerball. No, because one third goes to the establishment. So you get 1/3. The winner gets 1/3.
You're talking about if you take a lump sum payment?
Lump sum payment.
Oh, here's where a lot of people, it's not a matter of it going to the establishment. What they're doing is when they say the jackpot, let's say, is $100 million.
Yeah.
Okay? That's based, and it tells you right in the fine print, that's based on a payout over 26 years or whatever. So they're basically buying an annuity with whatever is there.
Yeah.
If you say, I don't want to wait, I may not live that long, I want it now, you're getting what's actually there. So it's not a matter of it going to the establishment. Now, you are going to lose 1/3 at least on taxes. Okay?
Yeah, but to me, that's false advertisement. I want my money back.
Look,
but here's the thing. So you have every week you have millions and millions and millions of dollars going into taxes. Why don't we have enough money for schools?
Have you not seen what the actual school budget is in California?
I haven't.
The amount of money.
I haven't seen it, but there should be plenty because
the amount of the money.
We're spending money on stuff that is unnecessary.
Well, that's another issue. But this sort of shocked me too. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be the end all like it was meant to be, but the lottery is only, 5% or less? The money they give in is less than 5% of the school budget.
Yeah, but when you're talking about $400 million on a Powerball.
No. But when they give the million, Powerball's a new thing now. That might kick it up a bit.
Yeah.
But all the lottery sales, I remember that's all your scratchers, everything that all the billion, whatever they gave, was like 1 or 2% of the state school budget.
Okay, well, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, Coach. My girls go to a school here up in Friendly Hills. Okay,
right.
And they were talking about, because I was trying to get some services for my son, and this is years ago. Okay. And they didn't want to give him the services because he's autistic. Okay. And so we started looking at the school budgets, and they had money put aside for fences that they couldn't use for services for the kids. And that's ultimately the problem that I have is that they're allocating funds for things that are on their wish list. I'd like to put a fence up, and I'd like to, do some things to the field and do that kind of stuff, which are all being done, by the way. But when we try to go in for services now for a child that is maybe more needy than most, we can't. We have to fight them to get those funds.
Oh, I could. We're just starting.
Yeah.
April 8th, 2013. It's roughly 1.5% of the entire California school state budget. 1.5%.
But what you're saying is it's not enough.
Well, no, but it's when the lottery was sold to the people of California. What was the big selling point? 50% of their proceeds got to go to the schools.
Yeah.
Because we're cutting. Why? Because the politicians are cutting money from the schools elsewhere.
Yes.
Right? 1.5%. The politicians are the problem. They're the bigger problem.
Let's see what happens when our engineer's not in the booth. I'm curious to see if we can just keep talking or
talking over the break.
Can we keep talking during the bumper?
I'm not going to try. Coach Mike, Kidz and Sports on the Rant Radio Network.
Nurses Life Express provides unique apparel for all the hardworking nurses that wear many hats. It's apparel that expresses nurses' amazing, humorous, and caring personalities. After all, nurses are as influential as their united goal to help others. Nursing's not easy, but somebody's got to do it. For more information, please call 562-270-4312 or visit their website at www.nurselife.com. www.nurselyfe.com. Nurseslife.com, where nurses' lives are expressed.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch.
Make your team look like pros with custom lineup cards. Whether you are a travel team, rec team, all-star team, or just some old guys playing slow pitch, we can make your team look a little better with some custom lineup cards. For the umpire, for the opponent, for the scorekeeper, for the dugout, no matter where your lineup card goes, you will look like a big league team with your team logo and name on top of your personalized lineup card. Just visit CustomLineupCards.com. With the best prices in town, you are sure to hit a home run with us. Visit CustomLineupCards.com and go pro.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what would make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
We just got a lashing on that one, didn't we?
Coach Mike,
go ahead.
Maybe we should turn this into a Dallas bash today and a Dodger bash or something.
No, not. Well, you can't bash the Dodgers. They're going to take it, Coach.
Well, no, I would have bashed that umpire last night. Coach Mike here, Kidz in Sports, with my co-host Alex Alanese, and we're talking pay for play, but we got to take a quick sidetrack here. That home plate umpire, and he's been there for many years. I forget his name. Was that Rush or whatever? He's been there many years. Last night, start from the beginning, it looked like he thought he was out there, that the fans were there to see him. He rang up players on both sides on called third strikes that were not strikes.
Really?
And they were letting him. But poor Cotton Pick and McCann was getting rung up on all sorts of stuff last night. A couple of them he deserved.
We talked about this, Coach, a couple shows back about the umpire at the plate.
It's a tough job.
He's got a bird's eye view of what's going on. You know, you're looking at it from a different vantage point.
Well, we got the advantage. No, we got the advantage because of all the replays. They don't have that. I get that. But some of those pitches last night, because I was watching, you know, the thing I was noticing last night, the TV station puts that strike zone thing on, okay?
Which is not official, by the way.
It's not official, but you look at how many times the guys call strikes that are right there, okay? And they're right there, and they say, yeah, I was close, but the thing shows it was there, okay?
Well, I remember when I was a kid.
He called a number of threes. The McCann, the first one, it was a curveball that if it touched the strike zone, it was such a small, maybe one molecule of strike zone.
You know, let's talk about what the strike.
That might be bumper music now or what?
No, we're doing some sliders here, right? Let's talk about what the strike zone is. Yep. Okay, it's between the knees. Well, this
bottom
is
of the knees.
Bottom of the knees. Okay.
Midway, the midpoint.
Okay.
The midpoint between the numbers and the waist when they're swinging.
Okay.
Remember we saw it on that YouTube video.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the rule. But the coach would always tell us it's where you're if you're able to hit the ball.
Hit the ball.
Hit it.
No, I agree. That's different. Hitting philosophy is different.
Okay, no. But the point is that's the strike zone. So I had a problem because I was a little bit shorter when I was a kid, and I played one season of ball. Okay, and I had a problem with the umpires because they were calling strikes on me, and they were up here.
Okay.
Right, and sometimes they were rather low at times. So I would come, I would get some dirt, and I would put it on my knees and say, "That's okay. All right, there's the strike zone, right?"
Oh, and he let you bat? He didn't throw you out there?
No, he didn't throw me out.
You know, one of the funniest stories I ever heard, I want to get back to this pay for play, but one of the funniest stories I ever heard, I was reading a book about Casey Stengel when he was managing the Yankees. He was one of the managers. They won 5 World Series in a row. The Yankees did that twice. Nobody else has ever done it. He had they said the day before night games that he used to light matches in the dugout. If the Yankees were like ahead, but the other team was threatening in the last inning, it was starting to get dark, he'd light matches in the dugout trying to get the umpire to call the game on account of darkness. So they said there was one game in particular where I guess the other team like loaded the bases or something, and so it looked like the Yankees were going to go down. He showed himself. He went out to talk to his pitcher, and he showed himself the way with a flashlight. The umpire threw him out of the game. I would have liked to see that. That was pretty funny.
That would have been funny.
855-969-RANT. We want to hear from you. Do you think it's right that high school teams should be able or should not be able to charge to pay for players to pay to be on the team?
Now you're talking about the school charging the players to
Right.
come onto the team?
Well, no. In other words, you come out and try out.
You're talking about public schools.
I'm talking about public. Doesn't matter to me if it's public or private. Private schools can still do it.
Well, private schools, I see, folks that are interested in having their kids in maybe a better team or what have
Right.
you. They're going to pay a little
private.
That's
schools
expected.
Different.
That's
this
expected.
Is public schools.
But we're talking about public schools.
Schools.
And we're talking about taxation and the fact that they don't have enough money to have these individuals play sports. I'm gonna disagree.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Let's get down to where it is. And we got to look at it from a couple different levels. And we talked earlier about who we're blaming. I blame the politicians. I just heard on the news this morning another union official, not with the school unions, but another union official going to jail for fraud. I mean, there's so many levels of junk going on above. Whether it's from the teachers union or the politicians.
Well, that's why they get into that.
Okay, we don't get the money. The money doesn't get to the kids.
Yeah, it gets extorted. It gets pushed
now,
off into other things.
Now, the money doesn't get down here. Here's the school in the middle. The money doesn't get down here. I'm the high school softball coach, and I need $12,000 this year, let's say, to run my team. That's not a lot of money. We're looking here at this Powerball thing. 1.5% of the entire California school budget, okay? So they're saying they give $1 billion a year to California schools, but the budget every year is 50, 60 billion, whatever, so it's a drop in a bucket.
Yeah, Coach, but that's coming from the American people.
I don't care if it's coming from
still,
Mars.
It's a form of taxation.
I don't know because you volunteered to do it.
Okay,
but you volunteered to play the lottery. You don't have to play the lottery. Taxation, you have to pay. Okay, unless you have a legal loophole around it, you have to. Lottery, you don't have to play. Okay, so that's not a taxation. Okay.
Well, taxation is only alcohol, tobacco.
No, alcohol, tobacco, those are excise taxes.
Yes.
Okay. You have your fuel tax. Why is California's gas prices 30, 40, 50 cents higher than anywhere else? Because we think we're saving the world with our environmental stuff. And so we make the gas companies here do different things, and boom, there's more taxes. Is it saving it? Maybe, maybe not.
Well, there's a lot of it goes to the roads and what have you.
Well, supposedly, if that's true, then why are there so many potholes? Why are there so many bad roads? I mean,
well, there's more roads. And
state highways.
It's relative.
The interstate highways, that's federal money. That should have nothing to do with the state. But see, again, coming back to the schools. And a couple of years ago, I dealt with this because, Downey the Downey Unified School District cut interscholastic sports out of the middle schools. And I heard it from one of the parents. Unfortunately, very few parents showed up at the meeting. I don't know if they don't care or what. But now these are kids, these 8th graders, are a little less prepared going into high school for their sport. But the school district answers, well, there's Downey Ponytail, there's Pop Warner, there's all these leagues you can go put your kids in. Okay. Some of the schools apparently put in intramurals, but apparently that was up to the discretion of the principal. Okay. I talked to a principal, Whittier, believe it or not, has 2 school districts covering the elementary schools.
Now, if we can back up there for Coach for a second. That's the first time I've heard you say intramurals. I don't know what that is.
Intramurals, in other words, playing within the school. The advantage, the one advantage of intramurals is every kid you might have more kids participating. But in other words, for example, I played intramural flag football when I was at ASU for the ROTC team. I was never going to play for the real team, unfortunately. I was a little bit slow, probably a little small. Well, maybe not small, but slow, and really slow. And I never played football, right?
You're talking about slow in terms of speed.
Right. Oh. Where's that? Where's Phil? I need some help on the bashing the Cowboys. But anyway,
there comes a pink flag,
Yeah, but no. So now ASU had, and I think a lot of colleges have an intramural program. So it was like ROTC would play against the frat houses or against the engineering department or whoever got a team up, and you could be. So in other words, it's within that school. So the advantage, like at the elementary level, is you're now getting all the kids to participate, and they're playing. So So there's some good news there. It's not going to be necessarily as developing for the kids to move them up to high school, and that was the complaint from the one parent I heard. Are there other opportunities? Sure, there are, but again, it goes down to, like you say, where'd the money go? I talked to a person with one of the Whittier school districts, and he said they made a decision not to cut sports because they felt it was a valuable education tool. So he said, I'm going to hope it doesn't rain longer, so I took the money that I was going to use to fix the hole in the roof, but we think sports is valuable enough we're going to hang on to it. Okay? High school level, so I'm the high school coach. I said I need $12,000 this year to run my budget. It's not a lot of money, really. What happened is, and I think it started a while ago.
Well, give me some examples as to why you need $12,000. What is it? What is it?
Okay. Every player gets a spirit pack, which I can make them pay for. Okay. So that's, in our case, that's 2 T-shirts. That's a sweatsuit and a hoodie. So right there is about $150, $200.
And we're talking about how many players?
Right now, just in 6th period, I've got 18 players.
18.
I'll end up with the 2 teams, probably about 25 to 30 players out there. Times 200, there's $6,000. I need to buy at least probably 10 more uniforms this year at $150 a uniform. Okay.
Wow.
So that's another $1,500 there. We still haven't replaced a pitching machine that was stolen out of our bin. And not this last summer, the summer before, we had $5,000 worth of stuff stolen out of our bin. A bunch of bats, some bases, pitching machine, my hurdles, gone. So we still haven't been able to replace that. Now, there was Fountain Valley or some high school a couple of years ago. I think, year before last, same year, we got our stuff stolen. Apparently somebody broke into their baseball bin or softball bin and stole all their stuff. And I guess some major league player heard about it and replaced all their stuff for them.
Wow.
So that was pretty good. We didn't, because they were in the Orange County Register. We weren't. So we didn't get, well, we are. Anaheim's in Orange County.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking Norwalk.
Yeah, no. So, but that's nonetheless, I still need a brand new pitching machine is about $2,000 for a good one.
So anyone listening?
So, yeah, is anybody listening?
If you happen to have a pitching machine laying around,
Western softball.
or if you happen to have an old pitching machine laying around,
or the one you stole from us. If you
know. Oh yeah, we'd like to hear from you.
We know we are about 99% sure that whoever broke into our bin, there was either somebody in school there.
It's an inside job.
They said, or there was construction going on there. It could have been one of them. I think it was somebody inside because they knew there's 4 bins there. They knew which bin to go to.
Oh, okay.
Ours was the only one they went to.
Some of those big metal bins.
Big trailer containers. Coach Mike, Kidz and Sports, Rant Radio Network. We'll be back in a minute.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Hey people, are you ready?
Are you ready for some football?
No, it's called a triple threat.
Wait, a triple threat of what?
Entertainment, gossip, and pure fun.
It's Tinseltown Talkies, Thursdays at 6:30 p.m.
Only on www.rantradionetwork.com. Don't miss out if you want to be a part of all the action.
With Rasha and Pimo.
That's right. See you then.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra modern, ultra clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Koi Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
Coach Mike here, Kids and Sports on the Rant Radio Network. By golly, we're not even done with an hour yet today, Alex. We're gonna have a lot more fun, I guess.
That's okay. Well, we haven't even gotten in the subject matter. I think we're leading up to it.
We're building up real long and slow, and
makes for a good show. You know.
Okay, I got 3 different places. I'm looking at an article from the American, I guess the name of the Somerset County's newspaper. No student should have to pay to play. This is from November of last year. And it says, think about all your classmates that participate in a sport or another extracurricular activity. Now imagine that they had to pay money to play or participate. Imagine if you had to be the one playing. Maybe $10 or $15 would be okay, but I'm talking hundreds of dollars. How many of your classmates would still play if that was the case? I get the opinion there that they didn't charge before.
Well, earlier today you were talking about the ability to pay or the willingness to pay.
And that's, yes, I'm going to get into that.
Oh, you're going to get into that. Okay.
Because that's an important key in my mind.
But you're saying here that they weren't doing it before.
Well, that's the gist I get. I look at Florida Today High School Sports Section. This is from October 7th, written by Brian McCallum. The board approved a new budget plan for 2013-14 academic year that will not include a pay-to-participate fee. After recommending to institute pay-to-participate fees for Brevard County Public High School athletes beginning in the coming school year, the board voted last week to reduce its budget by only $25 million, not the $30 million previously expected. So this might have been October last year. Oh, no, it says October 8th, 13. Okay. The board voted last week to reduce its budget by only $25 million, not the $30 previously. So they were talking about cutting it out. That saved 129 jobs and allowed pay to participate to be eliminated for now. Students were expected to be charged $100 to play one sport next year and an additional $50 to play more than one sport. I look here.
No, that's not too bad.
That's not bad at all. Well, we don't think it is. We don't think it is. Some people think it's terrible.
Seen it as the amount of tax evasion that we did last year. You know, I'll pay the $100
You'll pay the $100
to avoid the 1,000.
You better be careful. You never know who's listening there.
That's
Alex.
all right.
10/8 of this year. So pay to play. What it costs to play a high school sport this fall. This is written by Tyler Sylvie at thecoloradoan.com. Says, so you're an incoming freshman at one of the high schools in the Fort Collins area. You never played sports before, but you think now's the time to start. There are a few sports to choose from in the fall: football, volleyball, soccer, golf, cross country, tennis, and softball. They got softball in the fall. I know there are a few states that do softball in the fall. Most don't. Which one would you choose? So they get down.
I didn't hear you talk about cheerleading.
No, they didn't, and I'm surprised they didn't have that.
Yeah, and you know why I say that? Because my daughter, when she first was a freshman here up in Friendly Hills, it cost me about $2,500.
$2,500?
Yeah, to get her onto the team and the whole thing. I mean, she made the team.
They did a lot of traveling or something.
She was actually the only incoming freshman that made the team.
Wow!
But it was $2,500 when all was said and done.
Were you moaning and groaning, or you wrote the checks and thank you very much?
At the time, I was making good money, and the fact is that my daughter wanted to do it, and she was good at it. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, we'll break down what this is back to the Colorado. We break down what parents can expect to shell out if you're starting from scratch in any given fall sport. For the record, each sport has a $100 fee attached to it through Powdry School District. So the school district is attaching the sport. Although families with multiple kids or a kid who plays multiple sports will see that fee capped, the $100 is included in both high and low estimates below. So football. Let's see. For phosphorus, there's a spirit pack fee of $150, but you also need cleats, gloves, a mouth guard, and a girdle. High $365, low $215. Volleyball. Kids should take meals into account, which is $5 per away game. Sabercats go half in with parents on some stuff, making the cost before shoes, knee pads, and meals about $45. High $415, low $280. Tennis, high $795, low $295. Here's where the problem has gotten into in California, and I know this started a while ago because I heard it when I was at Newport Harbor. The ACLU, a few years back, and I guess they've done it multiple times, has sued the state of California. I saw one article the other day. I think Schwarzenegger was actually named in one of the lawsuits, so I'll give you a time frame. And then suing school districts for charging for sports. Can't charge for, and my principals tell me, first thing, I can't charge for sports.
Yeah, but sports, do we really see sports as being part of going to school?
Well, what they did, and again, I'll have to do some digging. This last week was really crazy, so I didn't do as much homework as I need to do. And I will make it up this week, I guarantee it. But the original article I saw, that it was all based on a law, an education law that went way back that had nothing to do with sports. It had nothing to do with sports. So on one hand, the ACLU would agree, would make the case that we've argued many times that there is an educational value to sports.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
They would argue, but
it's metaphoric.
I don't know if they're doing it for that purpose, but that
they're just doing it to fight.
I know they just like to fight. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually going to call their media and see if we can get somebody on.
I should rephrase that. They're doing it to challenge it.
To challenge it.
Yeah.
So I can't make the kids pay, or the parents. I can't make them fundraise. I'm told that if they don't want to fundraise, I can't make them. So the only solution, if I wanted to go that route, would be obviously to cut said kid. But again, I can't say, well, you're not raising no money, so you're off the team. Okay? I don't want to, in my mind, as a coach, this situation puts me in a position I don't want to be in, because what I try to do, and I know not every coach thinks like I do. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't think I am, but I think there's others who would agree with me.
You're the only Coach Mike.
I'm the only Coach Mike. Well, there's actually another Coach Mike out there too, but not me. But anyway,
not in my book.
And you brought it up a minute ago. To me, there's a difference between somebody that cannot pay and somebody that won't pay. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've had those. I've had a player or a parent go around and I'm sure tell somebody, hey, you don't have to pay. They can't make you pay. Okay?
So they create like a paradigm
So now I can't get the stuff they want. What I did year before last, I have the parents sign a letter. Here's what I need to make my budget. And we're going to do some fundraiser. We're going to do this and that. I hope you're going to participate. I hope you're going to donate. But here's what we need. And I tell the kids, I want the letters back signed. You're not signing. I don't have nothing there that says you owe this much money, right?
Yeah, just that you give them the communication.
I want you to know what's going on here.
You communicated with them.
So I wasn't getting letters back. So I sat the girls down one day. I said, girls, here's the deal. I'm ordering you the nicest uniforms you can get, or among the nicest. You're going to get 2 uniforms each. So that way you have 4 combinations. You have 2 jerseys, 2 pants. So you have 4 combinations because girls like to mix up their colors, whatever. So I tell you what, if I'm not getting these letters back, because I told them, does it say on the letter I have to have the money back before you get a uniform? No. What does it say? You have to have the letter back. Thank you. If I don't get the letters back by this week, I'm going to go down to this little T-shirt shop there on Beach Boulevard, and I'm going to get blue T-shirts for about $5 each, and I'm going to go to Big Five or some sporting goods store and get some tape and put tape on the back. That's your number. Oh, no, Coach, no.
The ghetto shirts.
They didn't like that idea. Okay, well, if you want these uniforms, I need money. I need a batting cage. We're the only school in the district without a batting cage for the girls, and in our league.
Well,
I've been quoted $16,000 for a batting cage, and this is Anaheim.
It's like one of the most famous cities probably in the world because of Disneyland.
I need $16,000 to build a batting cage because it has to go through the union workers or whatever. I've already been donated a net. One of the dads, a kid on his travel ball team, had gotten a scholarship, was going off to college, and her dad gave it to the coach. This dad on my team said, somebody can use this net. He says, absolutely. So I got a net there ready to put up. I can't just put up the poles like we would in a backyard because it's at a school. So we have to have the cement laid out. We got to, have it built properly. Okay. I could get that done probably for $10,000, but we have to go through certain channels. I get that to a degree, but it still makes me cringe a little bit when there's that big of a difference to get a job done, and our kids are being affected by it.
Have you ever gotten any feedback from the parents as to why they're not giving the letters back? They don't want to commit to having to pay money. I mean, I'll tell you what my feeling is.
Yep.
Is that, hey, you know what? We pay enough taxes as it is. These are public schools. Why isn't the school kicking in for some of this stuff?
The school does kick in enough to cover the balls that I need each year and help us out with our tournaments. And if we go to CIF, if we need something extra for CIF, if I needed bases or something, the main expense just to go out and play, I get help for that.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Is this necessary now for an education? It becomes questionable at that point.
So at that point, well, yes. Does having a batting cage, is that necessary for the educational part? Is it absolutely necessary? Well, no, I could teach them how to swing a bat without a cage. Is it necessary for us to be able to compete on the level with the schools in the league we're in? Absolutely.
Now, do you think that there would be a difference if you had a winning team?
No.
So the school, let's say you won CIF, you were the best team in the country, the whole thing. You don't think there would be a difference now?
That would make a difference among the parents to where a parent might kick in the money more. Okay? There would be a difference.
But not the school district.
But as far, no. For one thing, I'm already considered successful there. The year before I took over the program, they didn't win any games in the league. We're in one of the toughest leagues in the United States in softball. Softball isn't the tail that wags the dog. Football wags the dog, okay? I mean, when they look at realignments, when they look at all these things, football and basketball are the two sports that usually have the most weight. I've already considered, because we've won some games, even though we haven't made playoffs yet, but we're considered going in the right direction. If school had the money, I'm sure we'd get it. Coach Mike, Kidz in Sports, talking about paying for playing in high school sports. We'll be back after these messages.
Building a custom home or business is a huge deal. For some, it's the largest project they'll take on in a lifetime. Choosing your team may be the most important part of ensuring a successful building project. Starting a project by working closely with Core Design will create what's just right for your lifestyle and your property. But selecting the right builder is perhaps the most important part of creating the team. At Core Design's customer service, quality craftsmanship, and integrity are the keys to our company philosophy. Your custom construction dreams are just a phone call away. Core Design at 213-453-1609. Once again, that number is 213-453-1609. What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Top of the hour. We're back.
Got an hour left?
An hour left.
Gotta get this voice rolling on. Okay, Coach Mike here and my co-host Alex Alanese, Kidz in Sports, in the Rant Radio Towers up above somewhere. The Rant Radio
what
Network.
We call
what are we
the,
above?
The Holy Grounds.
The Holy Grounds. Hey, he actually came up with a good one there.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. We're talking about paying for play in high school sports. Give us a call. Tell us your side of the view. 185. I'm so tongue-tied today. 855-969-7268. Or what's the other number, Alex?
855-693-4897.
You can see the screen better than I can.
I've said it so many times that it's pretty.
You got it down?
Yeah, it's
I've
pretty,
got this one down. What a team!
Pretty automatic now. You know?
Okay, so we're talking about paying for play. And again, every coach is different. Where this whole thing, and I went back and found the origination of at least part of it, but where it throws a kink into the works.
Sounds like Vegas. Pay for play.
Pay for play. Yeah, a little bit different. Here they come away with something. It may not be in Vegas, but there's a difference between somebody that can pay and won't, as opposed to somebody that cannot. And I've always done this wherever I'm at, even when I was coaching at a private school. I need $250. Actually, the one school I was at had a booster. The one public school I was at before I had a booster club, so I didn't even have to mess with the fundraising. They did it all. But here's what I'm saying. It's $250, $300, $200, whatever it is you need for your sport. And I put it out, I put it in the letter. If there are any issues with this, whatever, blah, 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 contact me. I don't want to single out a parent in front of other parents at the meetings or anything like that. I'm not about that, but I get it. Some people are out of work.
Yeah, Coach, but it's even embarrassing to contact you personally. Just let's say, hey, I'm contacting you privately. It's embarrassing for me as a parent to come up and say, hey, Coach, you know what? I know you guys need some money. You need $250, but I just don't have it. And I really want my daughter to play. I want my son to play.
I guess that's
and I just don't have it. That's embarrassing.
It shouldn't be. I mean,
well,
we all struggle.
It shouldn't be.
No, some parents, it's not.
Some parents can wear it well, but others can't.
I get that, and I get that. And I try to make all my work. I'm not going to kick your kid off because you don't have the money. I'm not going to do that. And I don't think most coaches will.
And that would make me feel comfortable. Yeah. Now, if I do gather up the courage to come talk to you about it, and mention that to you, that would make me feel a lot better knowing that, hey, Coach, I appreciate it.
And I'll have parents that will send me letter back, say, we'll do some fundraising. We'll do this. We'll do that. Contribute to the program, okay? Because right now, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's the politician's fault, the union's fault, the janitor's fault, whoever you want to blame.
The janitor.
It might be Arvin's fault. I don't know. Whoever's fault it is, it doesn't matter. Here's the situation.
It can't be Arvin's fault.
Can't be?
No, he's not even in the booth. He's busy doing other things right now.
But whoever's fault it is, might be your fault. I don't know. Might be my fault. Whoever's it is, that's not the issue. The issue is we need this amount of money to do these things. Okay? So I could charge for the Spirit Pack, but I don't want to see you have your kid, well, I don't have the money to, don't pay for the Spirit Pack. But now your kid doesn't get the sweatsuit that the other kids get.
But are you given other alternatives? I know that, hey, every time my daughter's ever been in a sport, she's had to sell something.
They can't make you do that.
No, it's not that they're making you, but hey, give me the alternative to try.
I got parents that don't want to do that.
Okay, well, but that's another issue.
It's the same thing.
But you can do it.
You can do it.
In other words, I come to you and I say, Coach, you know what? I'm embarrassed about this, but, I really just don't have the money. I'm really strapped right now. I owe people money. I'm in a hole. Is there something else I can do to contribute?
Great. We'll come up with something.
Okay, but you can do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I was waiting for you to say there's some rule that says I can't do that.
I can't sell candy at school. They can't sell candy at school. They can sell it after school. They can sell it at home. Candy is one of our best sellers. World's Finest Candy. I shouldn't give them a plug. They should give me a donation here.
I had one yesterday.
You had one yesterday. That's great stuff. Candy is one of the best sellers out there.
That's one of the best drugs out there. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's people like you. That's why we can't sell it. No.
That's addicting. Let me tell you.
But no, it's we got to have the healthy stuff. We did some after school sales of pizza, supporting one of the local stores.
Well, car washes.
Car washes are harder and harder now because the cities are complaining about various environmental and other social issues. I used to do a car wash in Huntington Beach when I was at the one school. And I went to one station. They said, no, our corporation won't let us do car washes. Go down and see Mary down at this one station down a mile down the road. So I went down there, and she says, sure, here you go. But City of Huntington Beach, you got, they're going to try and charge you a fee. But here's the paperwork. Because you're a school, they shouldn't charge you. Sure enough, I went to get the permit to do it. And they tried to charge. First person tried to charge me $250.
Wow.
Second person tried to bring it down to $125. Finally, I got a supervisor that said, "No, you're a school. We don't charge you. You just have to turn in the paperwork, right?"
Well, it's a bit counterproductive, isn't it?
So, well, yeah, it wouldn't be worth doing it. And the reason at that time, this is where bureaucrats and politicians ruin the day. What happened is there was a drain in the gutter there by the station where water, let's say I did a car wash, water should go in that drain. The city apparently was doing work, so that drain was plugged up. So they had a car wash sometime. The water went down the curb around the corner to the neighborhood, and one of the neighbors complained.
Oh.
And also they can't do it.
There's always that one person,
right?
They're complaining about something.
So we went through. So here the problem was created by the city.
So what do they do when it rains? Don't get you started.
Don't get me going, man. So, most of the problems we deal with in life are so easy and people don't get it. But anyway, so we had a couple car washes, a couple of years there. Fine. So I move on to a different school. One day I'm down in the neighborhood and I drop by to see her and said hi to her. And I said, well, how's the car wash business? She says, we can't do any anymore. A neighbor, there's a condo complex across the street. And apparently a neighbor there hate to pick on seniors because I love seniors, some old lady or whatever, complained that these little girls were running around like tramps. They used other words in their bikinis or whatever. And so,
because back in her day, it was just one-piece bathing suits.
Whatever. So now let's don't have this out there because this is socially wrong, even though the kids are trying to raise money for their extracurricular activity. Where did it all start? Now, I know it started before because when I coached at Newport in 2000, I went there in 2003, the Booster Club told me about the situation back then. But apparently in 2010, there's an article there in the ACLU website, ACLU sues California over public school fees for student, by David Sabb. This is ACLU of Southern California. And it said, they did a study, and there's no system of truly free public education in California. So they filed a class action lawsuit. And it goes back since its adoption in 1879. The California Constitution has required that the state provide a system of free public schools. 1984, California Supreme Court ruled in Hartzell versus Connell that guaranteeing free public schools, Article 9, Section 5, fixes the precise extent of the financial burden which may be imposed on the right to an education. None. Accordingly, public schools cannot charge students or families any fees as a condition for participating in education and educational programs, including both curricular and extracurricular activities.
Well, but we're calling the sport. It is an education,
right?
It's
and
part,
it's an
part of the
extracurricular
education.
activity. So they went down. They said 50 districts charging at least one. Let's say must pay fees in order to participate in an educational program. These are like lab fees for science classes, material fees in fine arts classes, requiring students to purchase school-issued PE uniforms. They also included many instances where schools charge students hundreds and in some cases thousands of dollars to participate in school-sponsored extracurricular activities. A number of things they point out are incidences, school by school, where there's exceptions other than rules. And of course, they always kind of do that kind of thing where somebody didn't get an English book or whatever. I don't see that they address the fact that how many, just like LA Unified just found out, let's give all these kids these free iPads. How many of them didn't come back already? The first batch.
What do you mean come back?
Students kept them.
You gotta be kidding me.
They had no way to monitor it. So apparently they figure they're going to get most of them back, if not all of them. But one of the things brought up is how many of students, and I'm really surprised this since I've been at the school I'm at now, how many students move, how many times they move during the school year to other districts, or even out of state. I'm surprised that you'll have, and this is where the eligibility stuff comes in. I think if you moved once, it'd be amazing. No, there's been cases. I had a player that had to leave the team a year ago. She had moved, and then 3 weeks later, she was back in school living with an aunt or something. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff I never would have recognized before. I never would have thought of. I think you go to the school, that's the school you're going to be at unless you had legitimately moved like once, whatever it is. But with the single parent families or with non-married families and, mom breaks up with a boyfriend, now they're moving. I had one kid this last year. Mom was getting divorced or broke with a boyfriend, or the kid moved to San Diego because mom wanted to be closer to her family. A big move like that is one thing, but it's amazing how many moves that I found out will handle where they'll move just across the line to the next school district just because they changed departments or something. So they got to go through all that stuff.
Well, doesn't the district at some point say, well, you don't have to move schools because in that situation, I actually have my girls in a district that we don't live in.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I know there's all sorts of rules, and CIF has rules on transfers and waivers and under certain cases. It's mind-boggling, some of it. But this is where it all started with this ACLU lawsuit. Coach Mike, Kidz and Sports on the Rant Radio Network. Darvin back.
All bright and bushy-tailed.
Right, and his pink microphone. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
Nurses Life Express provides unique apparel for all the hardworking nurses that wear many hats. It's apparel that expresses nurses' amazing, humorous, and caring personalities. After all, nurses are as influential as their united goal to help others. Nursing's not easy, but somebody's got to do it. For more information, please call 562-270-4312 or visit their website at www.nurselife.com. www.nurselyfe.com. Nurseslife.com, where nurses' lives are expressed.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch.
Make your team look like pros with custom lineup cards. Whether you are a travel team, rec team, all-star team, or just some old guys playing slow pitch, we can make your team look a little better with some custom lineup cards. For the umpire, for the opponent, for the scorekeeper, for the dugout, no matter where your lineup card goes, you will look like a big league team with your team logo and name on top of your personalized lineup card. Just visit CustomLineupCards.com. With the best prices in town, you are sure to hit a home run with us. Visit CustomLineupCards.com and go pro.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what would make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
Mike here, Kidz and Sports and the Rant Radio Network.
Boy, I have a lot of questions, Coach.
Nobody's paying. Nobody's calling us.
That's okay.
Can we give them the right number?
No, that's okay. We're having enough fun just ourselves,
right.
Just doing this.
But just in case, 855-969-RANT. That's 855-969-7268. Give us a call. Tell us about how much you paid to have your kids play at the high school level. The article here, the one they pick out, plaintiff Jason Rowe is required to purchase an English workbook, a chemistry lab manual, a Spanish language workbook, and a student agenda. Jason's mother was informed by the school official that if Jason did not purchase the English workbook, the only way he could access a school-provided copy to complete homework assignments was by going to the school library after school. Because Jason's family could not afford to pay only a portion of the fees for these required materials, Jace was compelled to start school without his chemistry manual and a Spanish workbook. Watch a video of Jason's mother describing the humiliation of these experiences here. I've had to pay for books as long as I can remember.
Well, in college.
In high school.
I've always used old books, in high school.
You could buy used books, but
No. I'm talking about the books that they gave you they were always, old books. They were used books.
I'm trying. I could have swore we paid some for high school. I wasn't in California at the time.
We gave them back at the end of the.
But you gave them back. You still, I could have swore we bought books back then. I have my cousin. I mean, for years that's going on, but you had the option of buying or renting or checking out a book.
Okay, well that's all true, but Coach, there's computers now.
That's right.
You don't need books.
You don't need books.
You can multiply a book by 1,000, and it doesn't cost anything. Very little cost. Coach, everything we're talking about kind of brings a question.
Okay.
We're talking about. You said that you might need about $12,000 to have this extracurricular activity.
You gonna write me a check?
No.
Oh, shucks.
after the show, Coach.
Okay.
I don't write checks anymore. Do you take card? Do you take debit
credit
card?
I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
We'll find a way. If you've got $12,000, we'll find a way.
Okay.
Baby.
We'll
food stamps.
Go see the bank officials. We'll talk about it. I think there's a lot more going on here that we haven't touched on, and that's the establishment. There's the school where you're actually having the games.
Right.
There's the officials. There's the upkeep of the fields.
Right.
There is a lot of other things that are going on, and I would think that that's going to cost a lot more money than what we're talking about. And so a small contribution of what you're saying of $150, maybe $250 from the parents, you have to look at the whole picture. So when you're talking about pay and play, I don't think that they're really understanding each girl that's let's say on a softball team. It's not just costing $250 for them to play.
Oh no,
it's costing much more, and I would say it's probably up into the thousands for each person that's playing.
Well, like I said, my girls, I can relate to my team. Okay, for the money I've asked, and I think I've got it at $200. And actually, I sort of count on. Some of the girls are going to raise more than $200. Some of them are go-getters, and they love to go sell candy or whatever. Okay,
I'll tell you, the beach is the place to go.
And I recognize the top fundraisers at the awards banquet. So because that's part of being on any team. If you're at your work, don't you get recognized for doing the best job? You get paid more, but your boss, a good boss, is going to recognize you.
Well, because you're producing.
That you're producing stuff.
You're producing.
Now everybody wants
results.
to take. Everybody wants to take. They don't want to produce. They don't want to grow. But I'm still thinking positive. I'm still thinking. Here's where we're going to get to. Here's our plan. So for the $200, you're going to get 2 T-shirts. You're going to get a sweatsuit. You're going to get your hoodie. You're going to get.
Well, you said 20, but I think it's 200, right?
The player $200. The player gets, or $250. I forgot what to put in. The player also gets into the awards banquet at no extra charge. But if they want to bring somebody, they pay extra.
So it includes a dinner too.
So it includes the dinner. Okay, so that's not touching. That's not. The money is needed. There's a little bit extra. So you don't have to get that. I don't like it when players say, "Well, I'm not. I just won't buy that." And I had 2 last year did it. Or 2 or 3, but now you don't look like your teammate. If you go to a game and they all got their sweats on, you don't have your sweats.
Well, there's something else I failed to mention is also the salary of the staff.
Yeah,
that's all part of the establishment.
That's all.
You can't have a team unless you have the field,
right.
Unless you have the coach, unless you have the umpires, and you have certain equipment. There's a lot of other things that the parents are not paying for. And that's what I'm talking about.
See, there's so many things. Well, and this is we're getting to this thing today where they think everything is supposed to be free because they went back to that one.
So that's
thing
that,
in the Constitution.
The lawsuit you're
talking about. Because the Constitution said it's supposed to be free. Okay, so there are.
But it says education.
Right.
And education is supposed to be free.
That's right.
Well, it's not free. It's supposed to be free.
No, they say it's supposed to be free.
Meaning no additional charge.
Right.
Not free as it doesn't cost.
Right. There's just you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
We're providing this system that's not free. Now, my argument, I'm a little surprised.
What was the outcome of the lawsuit?
Well, they I don't know, it was either won or settled because I school. But here's the thing that cracks me up. If I'm another school district outside. You know what would crack me up? I get if it says the state would provide a system of free public schools. So if there's one system offering everything for free,
There'd be a large sucking sound going.
There could be a lot of other school districts that don't have to be in that system. Well, where does it say that every school district has to be a part of that system? That's something I think I would ask about that.
Well, every school system would have to be. They're part of the state.
No, but it says the state is going to provide a system of free public schools. Does that mean every system has to be free? Why is there two separate college systems in California?
Well, this is where you come up with private schools. Private schools.
No, but why does every public school have to be a part of the free system?
Well, because it's state funded.
But it always says we got to provide a system. And you just brought up the point. So then why are the colleges not free? Why are they having to raise rates in the colleges then?
I see this being a different school system.
Okay.
It's not state funded. These are
junior colleges are, the UC systems are.
Okay, well, but they're not as desirable as the privately funded school systems.
Well, some are. The UCLA people would probably argue with you.
Are they a junior college?
No, that's a 4-year college.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
But it's a public.
I'm not a UCLA fan.
You're a spoiled children?
Yeah.
The ones that lost Arizona State?
That's all right. It's got to happen sometime.
Okay. But there's so many things we do bureaucracy-wise. Like I said, I blame politicians and bureaucracy.
But for what, though? Because I'm a little hazy now on what. Because I know we're talking about pay and play.
Well, let's get down to the most basic avenue of it.
Please.
You pay a tax dollar. A certain amount of that tax budget is supposed to go to schools.
Okay.
To the education budget. That goes to Sacramento.
Now, are we talking about income taxes?
Any tax.
Because I've always wondered. This is something I've always wondered about. Let me do a little sidebar here for a second.
Okay.
Property taxes. Does that go to schools, or is that just going for infrastructure?
I thought property taxes, or a portion of them at least, are supposed to go to your local school district.
Well, okay, so that's the reason I asked.
That's my understanding. You're a realtor; you should know that one.
There's
some homework for you. That's
gonna be the show for tomorrow. Property taxes.
There's.
Is it funding our schools?
Is that whatever? All this money goes through Sacramento. The path to your school is through Sacramento.
Okay.
How much of it actually gets back down to the schools? And this is where, so whether it's for school books or whether it's for sports, the money is not getting. The school only has a certain amount of money to deal with. They have to distribute it in certain ways. Certain things they're required to do. Certain things they're required by the union contracts, which the unions are fighting, stepping on each other's toes. And I've even asked some of the union guys, what about this situation here? And the guy was tongue-tied. Because, once I painted a picture to him, he goes, oh, well, And I'm sure individually they're not saying, well, we want our kids to suffer. But the bottom line is the kids are the ones that are doing the suffering. Because for whatever reason, the money isn't getting back down here to the schools. And nobody wants to accept money. We talked about responsibility couple of shows back. Nobody wants. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Not my fault.
But I'm still a little hazy, Coach, on the whole pay and play. You started to lay the basis for it. So you said the politicians are to blame for.
I blame them for
not creating enough policy or.
Well, no, it's too much. In my opinion, it's too much policy.
Too much policy.
There's
too much red tape.
Too much stuff. That keeps the money from getting where it's supposed to go.
I agree with that.
So that's the big thing. Now, can I work on less of a budget? I had to last year. I think total money that we brought in last year was about $5,000, which was considerably less. The year before, I got $12,000. Okay. Last year we didn't do so.
Now, was that enough to run your program?
I can.
And the parents didn't have to contribute at that point?
No, that is either some of it's fundraising, some of it's parent contributions.
Oh, I see. So it was a total. It was cumulative.
That's cumulative. That doesn't count the money. In other words, the money that goes to the umpires comes from the school. They're paying for the money to the umpires. They're paying the money for the balls we need.
And the umps that are coming in, are they getting paid reasonably?
Coach, you might quit real estate if you knew what they're making. No,
I might quit real estate. Really,
softball official the ump behind home plate, I think last year was $67 for a game, and the base ump was $50, $55, something like that.
So I'm taking that you're saying that's unreasonable.
No, I think it's not a bad gig. If I wasn't afraid of getting hit by the ball by standing back there, because I can't move so quick.
They got those big pads.
I don't care what they got on. That ball's coming in. Softball, you saw what Jenny Finch did to the stuff on that video I showed you, the sports science video. She destroyed that. That ball hits you, it's going to hurt, you know.
All right, well,
but
coming up on a break.
Besides, I have more fun coaching. I'd rather coach than be the umpire. Now, volleyball, maybe I'll think about doing that one. Coach Mike here, Kids and Sports on the Rant Radio Network. We'll be back in a minute.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Hi, I'm Alex Alanis.
And I'm Alonso Rodriguez.
And we are Real Estate Rant. Every Wednesday morning between 10 and 11 a.m.
here at the towers of Rant Radio Network.
No problems, just solutions. Be sure to call in with your real estate problems, rants, questions, or comments, and let us try find you a solution.
Tell us about an experience, good or bad,
and finally bury the hatchet once and for all.
In the world of real estate, find a fresh perspective. There's a lot more than meets the eye.
Help us to ensure the public trust, one rant at a time.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Hour.
Half an hour left.
Wow, by quick.
Can I put up with? Yes, I can. Coach Mike here, Kids in Sports on the Rant Radio Network. I haven't got a phone call yet. 855-969-RANT. What do you think about pay for play in the high school sports? We need money. Maybe we don't need all the frills. Maybe I need to go get the T-shirts and put tape on it. No, I mean you want everybody wants their kids to look nice.
Yeah,
everybody kids want. The parents often drive. How many? You heard VJ. You've heard how many guests on the show that have talked about how the parents will move their kids, how they'll treat the coaches because they want their kids to have this winning team.
Well, I know.
You not only have to have better coaches, you have to have better equipment. You have to have, the batting cages, the weight rooms, whatever it is, and all these things cost money.
Well, I know I made the joke earlier about Vegas.
Right.
You got to put the money down to play to win. Well, it's kind of the same concept.
But see, they relate it back to because it's school-sponsored teams, and that's where the middle schools were going. Like I said, when Downey Middle Schools a couple of years ago cut out sports, their attitude was they did it to save $90,000 in transportation costs. Now to me, that sounded a little weird there because they have 4 middle schools. How much transportation? $90,000 to transport your middle school teams within the same city. I mean that sounds pretty high to me right there.
It does.
Okay, but that was the.
It's questionable.
We can't get $90,000 somewhere else. You got a multi-million-dollar budget. They just spent $100,000 to change the name of one of their schools. Okay, so they got that money, but they didn't have money for the sports. But their attitude also was, well, there's these rec leagues, there's travel ball teams. There's lots of other opportunities for the kids to go play the sports. Well, now if you're worried about the kids being able to afford it, you're making it less likely if they go off into the world of the other sport. Now, the rec leagues usually have scholarships. If you don't have the money, most rec leagues are going to cost you between $50 and $100 to play, not counting you got to buy cleats. You got to, like softball, you have cleats, you have a glove. Okay, there's things you have to do. Most rec leagues are going to tell you have to fundraise or you're going to buy out. You can either fundraise or you can pay, and it's not part of your credit. See what I do. Let's say I want $200 from each player. So if they sell candy, I give them 50% credit because there's a cost to the candy. So I'll credit 50% towards their $200. When you go to a rec league, most rec leagues do not do that. You're going to pay $85 to be to join the league, plus you're going to fundraise. Now, if you don't want to fundraise, you could pay another X number of dollars, 50, 60, 40, whatever they want, to buy out. So if I don't want to fundraise, here's $50 because they say the league needs that money. I mean, I could take that same avenue, okay? And maybe that'll be something I got to go. But except I can't make them fundraise, so you can't do that either. So it doesn't work. With the rec league, the outside leagues can do these things.
Well, it kind of goes now. This is what I'm kind of seeing here in what we're talking about, is that at some point the schools can just say, well, okay, you guys don't want to pay to play, so we're just going to eliminate the sport.
That's happened some places.
Yeah, so it's not so then it kind of proves the fact that it's not part of the educational process, that there's been a separation now between having sports in school and the educational process.
Well, there were those that would argue that no, it's still part of it, but it's less important than the other parts, so we can cut it loose.
Yeah.
And there are schools that have cut out sports. The Long Beach Unified School District was talking about cutting out a major part of high school sports is sort of on the ropes to a degree.
Well, let's talk about the percentages. What percentage of the kids play sports versus don't that are going to school? And let's say that there's a couple hundred that are playing sports.
We usually got more than that. Our school is actually low. We got a low participation rate. And I think my AD told me it was 36%.
Okay, so 36% of the kids are playing sports.
Most schools, it's more like 50%.
Okay, so now you're looking at 60 what is it, 66% of them are not playing sports.
In our school, yes.
Okay, so what those kids are not doing other things. So one could argue that that smaller percentage is even part of the curriculum, if you will.
Saying the same thing applies to band, cheerleading, color guard.
Are those considered in that 30%?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they are at our school or not. I'm hoping the band is extra or is higher than that, because that'd be really sad if that's included in it. But now wrestling is a prime example. Wrestling has disappeared at a lot of schools, and even colleges. I was surprised how many Division I colleges have lost wrestling. Now, part of that is due to Title IX, and wrestling was the sport that took out when forcing the equality between male and female sports. Wrestling got chopped in a lot of places.
Well, my point was, how can you make the argument that the sports is part of the educational process if just a small percentage of the students are participating?
And because it's voluntary, so that again, I'm sure that's where the schools came over the years. You're not required to do it.
Yeah, so now
why can't we charge for it?
You're going to have a group of individuals that say, well, why are we even worried about this? My kid doesn't even play a sport.
And that's another issue too.
Yeah.
I would think that would have been something, and I don't know, maybe it's one of those things that they went back and they said, oh, well, we don't have the money to fight it, so we'll just settle this thing or let it go through. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm going to go do some homework and see how far this thing went. But yes, if the students are not required to do it, same thing on a field trip. Because last year, a player that played for me the first year, she was a senior the first year I was at Western, got a scholarship to Georgia, and they were coming back to play in a tournament out in Palm Springs. So we were trying to get up a bus trip to go out and see her. We were going to leave school early the one day. So my one athletic principal said, are you requiring the girls to go or no? Well, no, it was a voluntary thing. Then I can charge for the bus trip. I can charge $25 or whatever it is. If it's mandatory as part of my 6th period class or as part of softball, I can't charge for it. So that'd be another thing we have to dig into our budget, if we have it, to pay for the bus or school van or whatever we could do to go out there, depending on how many kids we had. I think it's forcing, in some cases, and whether it's a majority or not, I have no clue. And maybe I'll try to work up a survey to put up on the website on it. But I think it's forcing a lot of, if there's other coaches that are thinking like I do, I don't want to turn away any kid. And I've never turned away a kid because they don't have the money. But I'm also relying that the rest of the kids will donate. But and this is, I guess, the sad part of it. Most of those kids are here, coach, here's the money, or the parents, here's the money. They'll try and get more money. They'll do all the fundraising they can, whatever. But it's sad when you got a small percentage of the ones that have the money, and they say, "Why should I donate?
Oh.
Why should I give so somebody else can play?"
Well, you're always going to have different folks come in and have those opinions about things, but you have to look at it from that perspective. And I'll play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I'm a parent. I make pretty good money. I just paid $10,000 in taxes. I pay property taxes. I pay taxes on gas. I pay sales tax. At the end of the day, I'm pretty much strapped because
you've had enough.
All the taxes that I'm paying, and then to top it all off, my children go to a public school, and I have to pay for them to play sports. It seems counterproductive. It seems like, well, somebody's mismanaging my money in the money that I'm required to pay. Either that or go to jail, right? Well, that's what's happening. Either that or they're going to take everything I have at some point because they feel that they have the right to put me in that position. So at some point, you might have some people that are angry enough to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm tired of this. I've had enough. I don't want to. I understand why you're asking me for the money, but I just don't want to pay it because at some point, there's got to be a limit. I got to draw the line somewhere, and that's how they're seeing it. So, you being a coach, you're kind of getting the brunt of it on that end. Although, I don't know what the percentages are, but what kind of percentage of parents do you get to have that opinion?
Most of them don't tell you. You have to sort of judge by the activities. If I know that there's a parent that I know is working with me, I don't go asking all their financial conditions. I'm afraid to see what he's putting up there. But
no, he's not putting anything up.
But I don't go around asking their financial condition, and because I sort of take the tact, it's none of my business.
Well, you see the jewelry, the nice car.
Yeah, you see. Like at the one school I was
at. The Facebook posts, you see things going on, and then you kind of realize, well, wow, how come they didn't contribute to the?
Well, we had at the one school I was at, we had a lady whose daughter would show up every year with a new bat, and in a good softball bat, you're talking $200, $300, $400, okay, for the good ones.
Okay.
So she would show up with a new $300 bat every year. Mom would not pay. She's a single mom. The bats, from my understanding, came from dad. Parents are divorced. But where I would give credit is that mom helped. Everything that the Booster Club did as fundraising or anything else, Mom was involved. Mom would do what she could.
Yeah, so she's looking for the alternatives.
So she's helping out. She's contributing to the program. So I have no problem over that. I mean, it does look weird when you say, I don't have any money, but your kid's always got the new. Now, when the family is.
Well, it could have been garage sale.
No, they were brand new bats. They're brand new Easton Synergy bats. Is his heart bleeding?
Oh, here we go.
Anyway, so that I think what you point out though, Alex, is that there's many. What if you were the parent that your kid was in sports? Would you take the tack that I don't care if they have to pay? Would you not care?
Well, my kids didn't play sports, and I still paid about $2,500 for cheerleading.
Supposedly that's a sport.
Well,
we'll talk about that when we get back. Kids in sports. On the Rant Radio Network. We'll be back.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Everyone, even Elvis loves Firehouse Chefs.
Catch FHC Radio every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. on the Rant Radio Network.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bank Mart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Building a custom home or business is a huge deal. For some, it's the largest project they'll take on in a lifetime. Choosing your team may be the most important part of ensuring a successful building project. Starting a project by working closely with Core Design will create what's just right for your lifestyle and your property. But selecting the right builder is perhaps the most important part of creating the team. At Core Design's, customer service, quality craftsmanship, and integrity are the keys to our company philosophy. Your custom construction dreams are just a phone call away. Core Design at 213-453-1609. Once again, that number is 213-453-1609.
Segment.
Yes, we are.
I hope people that didn't call today feel guilty will call next week.
They're just listening in,
Are we that good?
I think we are.
Wow. Well, thank you.
We're covering all the questions.
And you do a good job of that. That's why you contribute to the show. So I don't need to take your $300 this month. I'll get you a shirt, though. You know, I got to. No,
I have yet to get my shirt.
I haven't got one yet either. I gotta do that. That is something on my mind, though. I'm in between. I can sort of see the side, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna call the ACLU and see if we can get somebody in here next week.
Huh.
If they will come and discuss, because there's a lot more ways to look at it. I would like, all I want to know from them, what I'd like to hear from them is that they're not just picking out a few exceptions, that there's way more, because especially like you say when it comes to sports, here is something that you're not required to play. You're not required to go out for softball or football or anything else.
It's all voluntary, sure.
It's all voluntary. So shouldn't that by itself dictate that you can do this? Now, I would love it where I don't, and like I've told you, sir, if I can find sponsors for the team, because one thing I try to put together, the first year I did real well. Last year, the girls didn't buy into it, so I couldn't do the magazine last year. But I do a magazine, and I'll sell ads. I'm out there raising money for my team, okay? And, Ralph's Grocery donated $1,000 to my team last year.
Wow.
We're holding, that's going to be, yes, I gladly thank them for that, okay?
Well, I did some philanthropy work myself, Coach, and one of the things that kind of saddened me a little bit is that I would donate, whether it be money or time or whatever, food sometimes, just depending on the occasion, that I wouldn't really get a thank you back from the players. Okay. Sometimes I would, not all the time, but sometimes it was almost like it wasn't recognized.
Right.
It becomes an entitlement.
Yeah, and there's a convenience store by the school that donates to my program every year. Every year we put a banner on the fence for him, and he just tell Mike, make sure the kids come and get the other coaches. He's glad this guy glad to give money to the school, and he says tell the kids come by. Well, my kids go by last year, the year before. We all marched down after school. We went down and he gave the girls all free Slurpees, and we took a picture there. And we put in the magazine my
but they're there and they're thanking him and and he sees them.
He loves it. Well, and my principal told me, so we got to be careful because CIF has rules about endorsing, so we can't do an endorsement. But he looked at it and he said, no, this is okay. I told him, so the guy's giving us free Slurpees, just wanted a picture because he sponsored the team as a thank you. I guess
you think Peyton Manning's getting free pizzas?
He'd been in a school somewhere where I guess they were actually doing a video commercial on a cable station or something. And so he said that apparently stepped away. He said, we're okay once he looked at what we did. But the owner of the store just said, I just want to know I'm appreciated. And I tell my girls, I said, if you're going to go get a snack after school, you go see him and make sure you say, I'm from softball, and let him know. Because every year this guy, so he's the first one. Here, he gets me a money order, because they sell money orders. He gets me a money order. Here's some money for your team.
Yeah.
You need more? What do you need? He tries to come up with something, but I would love it. I would love it if whatever, I don't care if it's, the year before Westwood College bought a big ad thing. So if the businesses will kick in, I said that I do the magazine because I figured by getting an ad in there, I'm giving them promotion. So I'm giving them something back. Okay. Because I understand they need to see something coming back. Some of them do it generosity. Some of them, they're expecting something. But like you said, just to be appreciated. I would love it if I don't have, if at the beginning of the year I tell my girls, I don't need a dime from you this year. We've got $20,000 in the bank, and I don't need to ask you for a dime.
Yeah, but what about an invite to the game? That would be nice.
An invite to you didn't get an invite to the game?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about that individual. You didn't ask him. Hey, you know what? We don't need you this year. Thank you so much though for previous years. But here's an invite to the game. We'd love to have you.
No, I'm not talking about from the.
Something like that.
Constantly keep going to the businesses.
Yeah.
No, I would constantly keep going to the businesses. I'm talking about the parents. I would love it at the beginning of the year. I tell all my parents, softball will not cost you a dime this year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about the
No.
In terms of fundraising.
I'll keep fundraising because I know we need the money.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if the schools just had it. Like you said, we pay enough taxes.
Yeah, and
the state doesn't
and
think so. They keep wanting more. But
at some point, I think the parents would be appreciative of that because they're saying, hey, you know what? Your efforts are now being fruitful.
That's right.
And now, okay, doesn't that put you in a position now that if you did need the money for the program, to maybe try and do other things?
Well, the thing is, I like the idea of having some sort of fundraiser or some fee that the parents do pay simply from and I'd rather actually have it be the fundraiser that the kids participate in. Because like I tell the girls, is your mom and dad going to be proud when you go home and say, Mom, Dad, I helped with the car? Well, I raised enough money. You don't have to pay anything for softball this year. I did it. I went out and earned it.
Yeah.
Now they take ownership of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's where we talk about in terms of when you are playing sports and it is educational, it's a metaphor for life.
Right.
Because you're going to want to do that now when you become a business owner or possibly in the corporate world or whatever it is that you do later on in life. It becomes a metaphor now. You're going to try and do those same things now in business.
Right. And later when you have kids and hopefully get to, but unfortunately, part of the problem is we've got a certain percentage, and that percentage seems to get a little bit more of freeloaders. And I'm not talking about somebody that can't pay because they're out of work. One of my best fundraisers, not the top one of my best fundraisers 2 years ago was a dad whose daughter came on the team, and Mike, I've been out of work. We'll do some fundraising. We'll do whatever we got to do. This guy's eager all the time. What can we do for you? Is there something we can do? I've been out. He got a job. He says, Mike, it's going to be a lot easier. I got a job now. Things are going good. Cool. And that's great. But I love the attitude. I really get irritated when there's somebody's, you don't have to pay. We can just go out and enjoy, and we don't have to contribute. Because that to some degree, that person feels like their playing time should also be theirs more, whether they work harder or not.
Well, I think we've bashed enough of the folks that don't want to pay. Let's talk about the ones that do.
Okay.
You have the individuals on the teams that are coming in and they're eager to play. The parents they're supporting them, and you put out the letter. Hey, we need a little bit of money for the program. Like I mentioned, I personally think it really costs the district thousands to have each one of those individuals playing a sport. But you're asking for a small percentage of that for additional things that you need. And there are the parents that come up and say, hey, here's a check, $250. I don't have a problem with it. Or they may even give you $500 just because they have some additional monies and they want to support their kid, that they see that end of it. They see that side of it.
Yep.
I just kind of wanted to say something about those folks because, they do represent a percentage of what you have to deal with.
Yes, and I guess it's like the idea that just like in the news media, we see the bad news gets published.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more. You don't say much about them because they're there.
Three quarters of the show has been about the folks that don't pay. Let's talk about the people that do.
The ones that do. God love them. They make the coach's job easier. Now, there is a percentage of that group that can be a negative, though, because occasionally, not depending who you talk to, at some school, those parents think they can now dictate who the coach plays.
Interesting.
Matter of fact.
Favoritism.
Next time we get Cindy Bristol on the show, she'll tell you about even some very well known college coach. You would think that at that level she mentioned a very well-known college coach where because some parent had donated, $1 million to the pro, whatever, 100,000, whatever it is, they literally forced a coach out or got him fired or whatever, got the administration to fire a coach that was doing pretty well.
Wow.
And again, just like the other side, that's a small percentage of the pie, but those people are out there.
Wow.
But because they
expect some favoritism.
They expect favoritism.
Wow.
And again, who suffers in all of it? It's the kids.
Well, the kids do. So now you have a situation where now you're kind of battling between the haves and the have-nots. okay? And then you have the ones that are just idealistic about their position about putting money out because, I pay too much taxes. These are all things you have to deal with. So actually, the topic of the show today was pay to play. And what it should have been is to pay or not to pay.
Or pay. Hey, I'll put that in for next week.
Okay.
To pay or not to pay. Well, because
that is the question.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line, some people miss the boat, which is normal anywhere. We have that all the time. But I guess the basic message we need to get out there is whatever school you're at, some schools obviously are more affluent than others. A certain amount of money is needed. Some sports need more money than others. A basketball or volleyball team needs more money. Why? Because they're in gyms. And if they go to a certain tournament, those tournaments usually cost more money than a softball tournament.
Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the show, Coach.
We're done already?
Yeah, we got a minute left. I don't know if you want to
I'd
recap and
I'd just like some more people who would pay us to sponsor our show. We're getting here. Alex and I are here because we believe in sports as an educational tool. It should be fun for our kids and to keep this show on the air. We need your donations here too to if you want to advertise your business on the show. Let us know. Send me that email, and because we want to give you something back. We're going to promote your show, just like some of the sponsors you heard, and your help getting out my message. Teach first, win later. Let's make it. What are we doing for the kids? Does that kid that didn't get a play when they were 8, 9, 10 years old, what opportunities are them to get into sports? What can we do for them?
Yeah, effective advertising and metaphoric play.
There you go.
You
love that word.
I do.
You like metaphor.
Well, I see it as a metaphor for life. Sports has always been a metaphor for life, all the way up into professional sports. Even though a lot of people take that very seriously, like some people here in the station.
Is that another intern we got learning? No, he does a good job, and we appreciate you, Arvin. No matter how bad we bash you or we pick on Dallas more. Dallas is easier to pick on. Kids in Sports, Rant Radio Network will be back next Tuesday to pay or not to pay.
We'll see you then.
That'll be the question.
Hey, show me some respect, boy.